So far we've talked about agreeing to disagree, paraphrasing, clarifying, disclosure, a lot of different things, closed-ended questions, open-ended questions, and these are all specifically designed to get communication channels open and also to keep them open, to build relationship, to build trust, to keep that communication flowing back and forth. It's important to know that if they don't trust you, they're not going to tell you their objections. So when someone shares with you, I want to buy a house, but I'm scared to death, that is really a good sign that you're on the same page. You can use disclosure, you can take your time, you can lower your voice, you can assure them that your role in the transaction is to make this life event, this important life event, something to celebrate, something to be joyous about, as opposed to something to be scared to death of. And it's just such a wonderful way to make a living. So if you become skilled at this stuff, you're going to have some conversations that are going to make you a little uncomfortable, but you're also going to bring the skills necessary to the table to make them worthwhile and fruitful, and to build relationships, to build lives for people. So it's powerful stuff. I hope you tune in and stay tuned into this stuff. Okay, we're going to go into a specific objection now. And this objection, it can be anything, but this is how to take someone who is staring at a house that you know they should buy, and they're getting ready to walk because the roof scares them to death, and maybe it should. So, and you're going back to your car now, and you're thinking, I'm going to go show these guys 35 more houses, and they're going to be talking about the one that got away. And some of you, as you gain experience, you're going to be in that situation. And so rather than shake your head and say, go home and complain about how crazy this person is, I have another way to approach it. And in the folklore of the company, we call this Picsac, Picsac. It's kind of our way to remember how to handle this. The first thing you do is you listen, you pause, and you paraphrase. That's what the P stands for, paraphrase. And you take your time. The second thing that you do is you isolate the objection, and I'm going to go into detail on every one of these steps. The third one is conditional. And I'll explain to you what that means in just a second. The fourth step is you propose a solution. And the fifth step is you get buy-in or get acceptance from them. And then the C is close. Paraphrase, isolate, conditional, solution, acceptance, and close. Is this hard to learn? Yes. Is it better than showing 35 more houses to somebody who's looking over their shoulder? Yes. Okay? So be patient with the process. I'll walk you through it. You can learn it. And this is how to take somebody from walking back to their car to walking back to their car to go to the office and write an offer with you. It's that powerful. So let's begin. I like the house, but the roof scares me to death. What I hear you telling me, just so I'm clear in my thinking, John and Mary, is that you really like this particular home, and you may possibly be interested in it, but that roof is really a concern for you. It is for me too. So what does that do for you? It confirms the interest and gives them an opportunity to say no, which is important too. They might say, no, not really, and you can keep right on going. So maybe you were wrong about their interest, but I don't think so. Second thing it does is it shows that you're listening and you're validating their concern. You may only be a roof away from a sale. So it's really important that you slow down, keep your voice low, and engage with them. Watch your eye contact. So you paraphrase. So what I hear you telling me is that that roof is really a problem, but the house is great, right? Help me understand where you're at. Paraphrase. The second step is the easiest one of all. It's called isolation. Just so I'm clear in my thinking, Is this the only problem that you have with the home? And what that does is it focuses in on the problem and eliminates other minor objections. And it also moves you now into a solution environment, which I'm going to explain in just a moment. So you paraphrase, you isolate, and now you do something we call conditional. So let me ask you a question. Let's say this house had a new roof, or let's say we had a way to address the roof situation. Is this a house that you'd be interested possibly in writing an offer and maybe purchasing? Is that where we are? Again, you've given them a third time to say, no, not really, okay? So if they say, yeah, I think I might be, that's what the conditional is. If we could address this issue, would you be comfortable taking a look at purchasing this home? If they say yes, you're good to go. The next step is the S, solution. How do we get there? Here's a magical phrase. What we usually do in this situation, is to make your offer, or any offer that you write, subject to an inspection of this home. And if for any reason, any is where you emphasize, if for any reason you don't like the results of that inspection, including the condition of the roof, you don't have to buy the home. We can suggest some remedies. We can suggest some way of addressing that roof after the inspection. But you don't have to buy the home no matter what. That's how we usually handle this kind of thing. That's the solution. The A in Picsac stands for acceptance. And I would say, Jen, this is how we handle things, and for a lot of people, this represents a solution. But that doesn't matter to us standing here on the driveway. What matters to me and to you is whether or not this is a solution for you. Is this something that would work for you as a way forward? That's the acceptance. If they say yes, say, well, why don't we get something in front of the seller and see if we can make some sense out of getting you this house. It seems to me as though it's the one you want to buy. Let's try to make that happen for you. Now, I've given them 5, depending on how you count, I've given them 5, maybe 6 times to say no to me. And those no's, those opportunities are very, very important, because I don't want to ask that last question until I know for sure the answer is yes. So you paraphrase. You like the house, but the roof is a problem. Is this the only problem you have? If we could fix it, would you want to go ahead and buy this house? Does that work for you as a solution, the idea of an inspection? And can we proceed? I can't tell you how many houses I sold using this. Okay, it wasn't mine. It was taught to me by a guy who's a lot smarter than me. I really, really hope you use it. And I really hope you guys take the time on one of your breaks today to role play it, because it'll change your life.